ain't gonna lie. I am super curious about tonight's Hall of Fame game and the new kickoff rules. Seeing them actually applied. Now, they did it in the UFL, so I guess it's not like the most, unseen, not previously seen before innovation in the history of sport. But it is, I am curious as to how that's going to play itself out. Kicker standing on his own 35. Coverage team is on like the 30, the other team's 35, and the return team's on the 30 or the 30 and the 25, whatever. They're 5 yards apart, but on the receiving team's end of the field. If you kick it in the end zone, I think the ball comes out to the 35. So you're trying not to kick it in the end zone and yet kick it as deep as possible. The return man is trying to kick it between the 20 and the 10. I don't know. It's a lot of rules. You tweeted out a couple days ago, you thought part of this was a bit much. The onside kick stuff?
I can't stand what they've done to the onside kick. They've taken away from being a strategy in the game.
The surprise onside kick.
Yeah. It's completely gone. I mean, they neutered it a few years ago anyway, with just different rules on how you can line up as a kicking unit and all that. And
they did that for the safety of the player.
Sure.
That was super dismissive.
Right, as we schedule a 17th game and can't wait for the 18th game. I got you. Sure. No, that makes a lot. Sure, I got it.
Yep. It is hypocritical. You're right.
Well, that's the NFL. But doing this, I mean, what's the point of doing this? What's the point in saying that you can't have an onside kick in the first 3 quarters of the game?
Well,
why?
I don't know. You have to announce your onside kicks now,
What's the point in that?
Well, because if your kicker's standing on the 35, how else are you going to do it when your return team is everybody else? Right,
but this gets into how stupid this rule is.
Oh, you don't like this?
I don't know if I like this or not. It just seems
I think it brings the kick return back into play.
I mean, we'll see how it works out. It seems like it's really convoluted. Like they're going through hoops to come up with something that was okay, fine, not that long ago. Do you want for the safety of the game? I can understand that, but it's like they wanted it both ways. They got tired of kickers kicking the ball out of the end zone because they were too strong of a leg. All right, well, let's find a way to bring it back. And I don't know. I think they're overthinking this whole thing when it comes to kicking.
I think
we're a step away from them just eliminating kicking altogether, and teams just start from their own 25-yard line.
Well, they don't want that.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Well, it's good. This is going to be the biggest thing tonight, too, Doug. I agree. This whole kicking situation. I've read or looked at this whole thing. There's a lot of rules, a lot of things going on. That landing zone, what you're talking about, Doug?
Yeah.
It's called a landing zone. The kickers essentially have to kick it in this landing zone, and if you do, and it stays there, you have to return it. Now if it goes into the end zone, you can down it. There's going to be so many. They're going to be telling people, I think, throughout the night about this rule, so people kind of can try to understand it. But the whole point was they didn't want that ceremonial kick through the end zone, like you said, Gator. They want some action. They want it to be some strategy involved, and they want to see returns.
A kick that hits short of the landing zone is treated like a kickoff out of bounds and will be spotted at the 40.
You have to kick it in the landing zone. We will be hearing landing zone a lot.
Yep.
Yes, we will.
And then if it hits the landing zone, goes out to the end zone, there's another rule for that. If it goes over the landing zone, there's another rule for that. The guys covering and the guys receiving or the kickoffs, they can't move until the ball touches the ground or a player.
Man, it's a lot going on. Be interesting to see tonight.